folks, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're jumping back into Fun Bar, our game with Lanka. And yeah, a lot of time has passed for me in the real world since the last recording. So probably a few weeks, probably like 2 weeks. So I've gotten kind of farther ahead in the game. So we're going to do kind of a quick catch up. But it's actually a good time for us to kind of speed through these turns. And the reason for that is I'm kind of going to go in a turtle phase, which I think is something that Lanka wants to do. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Okay, we found 2 magic sites. That's 2 nature gems, I believe. Yep. And that's really nice. Battle here, we kill some trogs. It's kind of cool just to see. Trogs are no joke, so... There goes the bull. Pop. But here come my thick boys. They do pretty well there. There's a battle in the arena, and this actually turns out to be a very important... a reasonably important event. So Vanheim comes through with Home Slice with a great sword of sharpness, a bracer of protection, and he hits this guy who's got an enchanted spear and some armor. But great sword of sharpness apparently rules all. Basalt King, and he's feeble-minded from the, so he can't cast spells. I think the player said they forgot this, because he just stood here because he was scripted to cast spells, and you keep your script, but if you're set to cast spells, you just stand there. Then Mekone comes in, and we have in this I didn't actually host this game. It's one of the few games I've been in recently I didn't host. But the guy who hosted it put on, and I think I had mentioned this earlier, but he had put on Better Arena, which lets you get like any artifact in the game. Speaking of which, I have a mod, and I probably should make a video for it on the channel, but it's called Balanced Arena. And you get like good items from it. You get like, 15 to 20 gold items, and you can get some of the artifacts, but you don't get any of the high-powered artifacts. Like you can't get Gatestone, you can't get the Friendship Hat, you can't get the super top-tier armors, but you can get a lot of this stuff. You're not going to get like Horror Harmonica. Anyway, the stuff that basically completely changes the game for you if you win the arena. You also don't get Rings of Wizardry and stuff. You get like a cool thing. So it's worth sending something, but it's probably not worth sending your best dude. Anyway, so if you like Better Arena, but you think the items in it are occasionally too strong, then you can try out Balanced Arena. And I don't have anything against Better Arena. I just don't like it, because like in this game, somebody got the Friendship Hat, and that completely changed to war. Which, it's cool, it adds story and flavor, but it's also kind of not cool. I don't know if I like that much RNG. But some people do. Anyway, no knock on that, but we just, there's another option. Holy crap balls, look at all these gems we got. I don't think I even noticed this at the time. A wild boar. I think we do root this out. Lasky Mines, yeah, we're going to patrol this guy out. So anyway, that's basically what's happening over here. Happenings in the world, I think Niflheim is either dead or on his deathbed. I'm not going to remember the timing for a lot of the Diplo stuff. So we're going to kind of just speed through the economy. I'm going to talk through my strategy. My strategy is basically I want to get blood hunting all set up in this corner. This is going to be my primary blood hunting corner. This is going to be blood hunting. This is going to be blood hunting. This is going to be blood hunting. And what we're going to be focusing on is a fewfold. We're going to be focusing on building... I want to get hammers with my god, which we've got a few of them. We're going to be we have a few things. It's like the conflict of Lanka. What do you spend your mage turns on? Here we're going... Okay, so there's a few things we're doing. We're making Pills of Water Breathing so I can take this lake here with a thug. We're going to be making Skull Mentors, and I think this is going to be the last of the Skull Mentors. After this, we're going to basically start putting all of our death gems into Amulets of the Dead. We've got enough undead chaff production to fuel like getting my blood economy set up now, so I don't have to worry exactly about that part. But I mean, I'm going to need more. But as we go on, I'm not going to want it just for like getting my blood hunting set up. I'm going to want the undead for my wars. So... Anyway, all that is going to take a tremendous amount of death gem and mage turn investment to get all the items produced. We have to get all the mages produced. We already have most of our fort infrastructure set up. These ones have to be upgraded here. I need to get a fort on this throne. I need to upgrade these forts. and then this fort needs to get upgraded. So there's a fair amount of infrastructure work to still do. And I want to get Raktapatas out of every single fort, basically as much as I can. Ideally, each fort has at least one of these yoginis in it in case, shit happens and I need a yogini. And then a bunch of Raktapata. And with that, I can do all sorts of kind of like last-minute ninja defenses if people attack me or something. And I might end up getting a few more yogini. I will be able to... We're going to turn off... I think we've done it now. Yeah, we've turned off sacred production in our cap. And that's because we're going into this like efficiency mode. We're not trying to like start spiraling now, attacking neighbors. That is a way to play. I'm not knocking that way to play, but it's not how we're going to do it. We're getting Raktapata everywhere. Everywhere. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. We'll just kind of speed through these. And here we go. 33. Message from Oceania. Thanks for the well wishes. Definitely have reached a point where luck is an essential part of our military planning. Though not supplying the enemy with the means to destroy us would be a somewhat tangible way of expressing support. That's a crack at me because I was trading water gems to Atlantis, and I think I admitted that publicly. Just to the highest bidder, or the first bidder. There's nothing to see down here, really. Since we barely have any army left, it's just a summoner's fest, and scripting the frog side was weirdly... And the scripting on the frog side was weirdly sloppy. Unequal gem distribution, no cute little sharkies to aid them versus our cute little sharkies. So I guess this is... I can't remember if it's Swarm or no, School of Sharks. Or maybe he did Shark Attack. Well, Atlantis got completely wrecked. We've lost all our troops. All in all, the advantage is still very much with the frogs, but we'll do our best. Deploying our headlights this turn. I will let you know how it went, unless it's really embarrassing. Smiley face. Okay. Excellent. Research and Enchantment 5 is finished. This means we can now do Skelly Spam if we get attacked. So we can do something fierce. Like if like Satis or Vanheim, really, it would be better versus Satis. But if like Satis ended their nap with me, I'd start building Yoginis. And Yoginis with the core of these guys is like Turbo Communion slaves. They can produce just a fearsome amount of undead. I mean, an absolutely fearsome amount. So, yeah. It's kind of limited when you do Turbo Communions, which what this would be. You're limited, but it's a Blood Turbo Communion. So we can, I mean, we could burn it pretty hot, but we may end up burning it out. But if you burn out a Blood Turbo Communion, like these guys are almost no gold, so I don't even really care. But it would be a lot of skeletons. But we'd be limited by the amount of Yogini we have. But anyway, that's now an option because we have Enchantment 5. Our research priorities are going to be Alt 5. This is going to give us Mother Oak access, which I want to go ahead and put up. Enchantment 6, Enchantment 7, and then Blood Magic. And we're site searching with our god in this throne first because it's a mountain. And in addition to being a mountain, it's also a throne province. So pretty high likelihood of finding an earth site. And then we'll have her come over here and check all these mountains, highlands, etc., caves. And have, or basically just come in here and look for earth sites. And then at some point put up Mother Oak. In these forts, we're continuing to get these crystal Amazons, and part of our kind of building economy thing is we're sending some out as we have gems, and I think I'm even alchemizing a tiny bit. We're going to be doing arcane probing and trying to get Astral fully site searched. And then other ones who aren't busy doing that, we're going to have them walk around and manually site search. So that's what this fort's going to be up to for a good long while. This fort, we have now got full steam ahead on Raktapata production. And this fort, Raktapata production, proceeding ahead. You can see we're stacking up the research items on them. Some of them are making warriors. I think this guy's coming over here to start blood hunting. I think he's actually coming to do undead production, but no, I think he's going to blood hunt. We're going to ferry a sanguine dowsing rod out to him. Here, blood hunting's going. You'll get bored of listening to me say that. Here we've got Raktapata production going. One thing I need to do too, though, and we're going to do this later, but I need to build a lab here. I think I actually moved this guy here with the intention of building a lab. I just kind of ran out of money. But I want to get these Cenocephalian shamans for, basically I have a 1 in 3 chance of getting an astral, and then after that I have a 1 in 6 chance of getting an earth random. So It's basically 1 in 3 times 1 in 6, which is a 1 in 18 chance of getting the Earth Astral Path. So I've got to recruit a shit ton of them, but we're going to work on that. And yeah, I think that's worth it. Because the other ones are still kind of useful. The Death ones, let's talk about what we can do with all of them. The Astral ones can just be fluffers or, Astral mages. And they're not terribly expensive. They're not terribly cheap, but they're not terribly expensive. And they can thug in a pinch too with some gear. Nature ones, like Nature 1 mages, are still pretty okay. The Death ones can be forging my Amulets of the Dead. And so anyway, that's what the 3 basic paths will do. I'm not sure what I would do with each of the cross paths. These guys could do corpse constructs potentially. Nature Earth is a cross path I have on my god, but I don't have anywhere else. There's some good items you can make for that. Yeah, I don't know. Not anything too special. Astral Nature would also be really good because it would give me access to Moonvine bracelets, which I'd really like. I might consider empowering like an Astral Nature in Blood so that, I'm putting just like, I guess I would need a Moonvine bracelet. To do a Moonvine bracelet, I would need Armor of Twisting Thorns and a Thistle Mace. So anyway, I could do that. Empowering in Blood on him would also be an option, just because now I'm going to have Blood Astral, which is not a path I currently have. And it would be Blood 2 Astral 1, so it opens up things like Horror Spam. Which really Lanka doesn't want to do because they have better uses for Blood Slaves, but it's nice to have it as a tool. So anyway, that's all going on here. You can see right now we're getting about 60 Blood Slaves a turn. And I think we'll continue forward. Turn 34. Oh, I'm missing turn 34. We're going to skip to turn 35. There's not too much happening in this part of the game. I'm kind of turtling. Apparently, we got attacked by a bunch of animals. Some monster boars. You can see we were just at like 60 the other turn, and you can see our blood economy's really jumped up. We're up to 40, 50, we're up to about 100 a turn, which is a big step up from 60. So a little over 100 actually. And we found a shit ton of sites. We're actually having really great luck with site searching this game, but that's also because it's early era. Early era, there's a ton of magic sites. Most of the games I'm end up bitching about not having sites, it's because we're playing in an era without a ton of sites. Satis puts up Well of Misery, I think. Oh no, they put up Mother Oak. And that is my cue to get home and to cast Mother Oak myself. So we go ahead and go home, and we're getting ready to cast Mother Oak. We actually have to see next turn how many I put in it, because something may or may not have happened recently in the game where I need to know how many gems I put in it. Okay, we've got more blood hunters coming down here. We've already got 2 blood hunters, but we're bringing in 4 sanguine dowsing rods and 2 more blood hunters. So we're gonna get this place really humming with blood slaves. Here we've got just a tremendous amount of blood hunting going on. I think we've got 5 blood hunters for a 3,000 population province. So we're kind of wasting their turns, but this province also is not worth anything to us except for blood hunting. So we're just gonna blood hunt it into the absolute ground. When I get down to like 2,000. We'll probably have them go off and do something because it just won't even be worth their turns. But for now, we're just going to blood hunt the ever-living shit out of it. Yeah, here we're blood hunting a lot. And yeah, that's basically what's happening. In terms of like what my mages are doing, you can see we've got these guys. We're setting up a little reanimation factory here. It's just getting started. We're doing arcane probing. We're pretty strong still. We've got like a lot of these sacreds. In our cap, we're summoning Rakshasa warriors every turn. We're getting about 15 a turn. So even though we're not, recruiting units out of our forts, we're summoning undead, and we're getting a pretty large amount of sacred summons every turn. And it's turn 35, so 15 per turn is not a huge amount, but it's not bad. And they build up pretty quickly. So we had come down here the previous turn, cleared out this There's some indies here. We found a sunken galley, which is nice. Get that bonus death income. I had forgotten to build my lab here, so he's going to come site search and probably build a lab here too. But you can see all my infrastructure has been upgraded. We've got labs and temples everywhere. I think we've got a fort under construction here on this throne. And that will be about all the infrastructure I'm going to need to make the maximum amount of Raktapada. And then a few yoginis, and then stuff out of my cap. You can see we're not even making cap-only mages, because we're going like full efficiency here, right? We're just getting, yeah. I mean, the thing is these guys kind of get replaced later by Dakini. They just cost gold in terms of upkeep. So we're getting just the Raktapada now. We'll get more of these guys later, but especially since I'm still spending some money on infrastructure. Once I'm done with all my infrastructure building, which this is kind of the last one, I'll probably build some here too. Anyway, once we're done with infrastructure production, then I probably will turn back on cap-only mage production. And some people are going to be like horrified I turned off cap-only mage production. If I was in war, I would turn off any infrastructure production I'm doing, and I would be making sacreds, and I would be making cap-only mages. But because I'm not, I get to kind of do this efficiency play. The state of the world too right now is Arco, who's right here, is in a war with Ubar right here, and they're kind of grinding it out, but I think Ubar is slowly winning. Mekone has eaten Niflheim completely. And I think it is about this turn that Vanheim has decided that Satis has decided to attack Vanheim. And you're like, Satis is up here, Vanheim is down here, how do they attack them? Well, maybe it's going to be a little bit later, but they're going to. They're going to come up through this candle, and then from this candle, they're going to go here, and from here, they're going to go here, and then attack them. And then they also have a little sliver of a connection down here. So between these two, they were going to kind of attack from both sides. Doesn't seem like a good idea for me, because it's like a very long way to reinforcement. Like, move all your troops through here and all this business, and these are like wastelands, so it's like slow movement. Just seems like a really awkward war. And then the second you get it, like one of the problems Satis has is he's stuck between two big players, me and Mekone. But once he does that and has Vanheim, he hasn't changed that problem. Except he's now going to be bigger. But like for me, I have nobody to attack but him if he does that. So anyway, there's that happening. And yeah, we're getting more. Let's see what blood hunting sites we have. We have this set up. We've just started getting this place set up for blood hunting. We need to get this one. This one's not set up yet. We're going to get that one, and then we're going to get these two set up too. And that'll take some time, but we're making enough undead now that, like, especially here, we've got the Soulless production. The Soulless are really great for doing your blood hunting too, like getting your chaff. They're worthless in combat, but anyway. We have been... I went ahead and pinged here to see who's here, and I have moved in an assassin with the aims of killing... I wanted to see exactly the kid on the god so I could kind of see how the assassin would do against him. And what the god... This guy, he's got cardiac cask, he's got this, some air gems. What he tends to do in the assassinations is make air elementals. So, I can't remember if he did size the big ones or the small ones. I can't remember. The script I came up with that worked when I tested it was this. Enlarge, Blessing, Horde of Skeletons, Swarm. And then I've got the Buffalo Hat and the Lifelong Protection. And then I've got decent gear. So anyway, all those combined, this tends to kill him. I think there was a chance I lose. So yeah, it could happen. But anyway, the other thing that we've got is this army here. It's moving up, and we're going to be collecting this along with whoever's in my capital, and we're going to be making our way over here to Christopher's Knoll. And once we are there in Christopher's Knoll, then hopefully the Titan will be dead, because it's going to take us like 3 or 4 turns to get there. There's not that many indie commanders here. There's only 4, so I should have killed them all, or she would have failed by then, and then we'll go attack it. I think I actually have a decent chance of killing it with a proper army, even if I don't assassinate the god, because I've got shock resistance and stuff, which will help deal with the Spring Hawks. But I would much rather not have to fight them and just assassinate all the commanders. So anyway, that's what we're doing. And anyway, that's that. So let's go ahead and go to turn 36. Turn 36. We were doing some gym trading here. We've been casting arcane probing. We've actually while we have had great site I can't even talk. While we have had great luck site searching, we have not had great luck with arcane probing. So our pearl income's pretty horrible. Here we found just this. I think this either 3 or 4 death gems. Yeah, it's 3. That's phenomenal. And then here we found a Druid's Grave. I think is 1 nature gem, and a Thunder Oak, which is 1 arrow gem. Here we seduce a Barbarian Chief. I'll just show you this so you can see her in action. Hot, steamy seduction. Yoink. We get attacked by a Long Dead and Assassination event. And yeah, we get some gems and whatnot. Unrest, other bad events. So, anyway, we're continuing to seduce. I think what we'll do too, as we start getting towards the end of this kind of like turtle macro phase I'm doing, we'll pull up score graphs and stuff too, so we can kind of see what's happening. Get some situational awareness. I've also got some sacreds mixed into this squad too, that's sitting here doing the patrolling. We have finally been pressured, bullied by Vanheim, our neighbors. We were asking him what's going on, where Mekone's borders are. I think Satis was also telling us they might be attacking Vanheim. And, of course, we're not sharing information between players. If somebody tells us something, we're not going to share it. But, anyway, they were saying they were probably going to attack Vanheim. And I was asking some questions. They're like, you don't know? They're your neighbor. And I'm like, the map is dark. The map is very dark. So, anyway, I have been sufficiently shamed and bullied by these, just ruthless players I'm playing with that I need more scouts. So, anyway, we're doing that. I need scouts, too, for my blood hunting economy because I don't have labs in all the blood hunting provinces. And we're a little low on scouts, so we're going to be making more of them. We've got some coming out here, but the ones I'm making here, we're stopping mage production for a bit and sending them off. Now, one thing you can do is in forests you can get a Tavi Chieftain. They're just expensive scouts. And we're a little poor. So, yeah, I mean, probably not a good idea to make them out of your lab-templed fort, but, we're going to save 60 gold doing that. Probably a horrible idea, but right now we can afford to just be really, really frugal. Because there's not a lot of pressure for us to build. I mean, we are building military power, don't get me wrong. But while we are building, we've got pretty big armies of demons we're getting. But while we're doing it, we can be greedy in some other areas. So there's that. In terms of research, we are making our way to Enchantment 7. My current thinking right now is, because Satis is going to attack Vanheim, I'm going to have nobody to attack except Satis. So I'm probably going to end up having to go to war with Satis. I do not want to go to war with Satis on the offensive until I have Mass Flight. Once I have Mass Flight, I can probably deal with his Communion shenanigans. Before then, it's going to be Bad News Bears. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, we're running for that. It's going to be good if I'm defending. It's also going to be good against the elves, too. Surrounding the elves with Long Dead is a lot better than fighting the elves in a big long line. And letting them hit you with, whatever they're going to shoot at you from the back line, like lightning bolts and stuff. So anyway, Enchantment 7 is going to be pretty excellent here, and we're getting pretty close. Research, we're at 365 per month, which is not horrible for Lanka, considering that a ton of our mages are making, either out blood hunting, right, which is not something a lot of nations are busy doing, reanimating Long Dead, etc. So anyway, I think this is totally fine. Turn 36 for Lanka. It's nothing to write home about. You could definitely probably play them different ways, but again, that's how we're doing it. We'll go ahead and do turn 37. Maybe we can talk a little bit this turn about what goes into getting all the infrastructure and stuff set up. Oh man, we found a Brigand Lair, which sucks, and then a Sky Split Oak, which gives us 1 air gem. Arcane Probing. Oh shit, we gotta go back. I cast Mother Oak last turn. I don't know. I want to know how many gems I put in it. Turn 36. I think I probably put all of them. Shit. Oh my god, I put 164 in it. It feels bad, man. Feels very, very bad. Okay. Here I am clicking like we're going to go into the real game. 37. Mother Oak goes up. So we stole it from Satis, which is probably fine because he's probably going to be, trying to take it from me. One thing we had noticed here is there was a shit ton of unrest here, and I think I had done. Wait, was it here? Oh, here. There's a shit ton of unrest here. And I think I had site searched it a little bit for blood, but the Demon Gate, I think you have to be blood 4 or something to find it. I don't know. It's kind of high blood. Blood 1 doesn't find it. Maybe it's only blood 2, but we didn't have a blood 2 guy. We cast Blood Bowl to reveal it. It's what I thought was here. And we found it. So it increases unrest by 10 per turn, which is a shit ton. But it's one of the reasons we want to go ahead and blood hunt it, because it's already a ruined province just from having the Demon Gate here. So might as well have patrollers in case we get attacked by demons and blood hunt the shit out of it. We also, because we're here, I think I've got a mage coming in, but he's going to just do Inner Sight, and this is going to give us a Fiend of Darkness, which is kind of like, it's like 3 free blood slaves for return or something. Maybe more. How much a Fiend of Darkness? Don't know. Where are you? Where are you, Fiend? Do. Bind Demon Knight. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not seeing it. I'm sure I've moused over it 4 times already. Anyway, it's a spell. Oh, Bind the Fiend. This is it. 5 blood slaves. So it's basically 5 blood slaves per turn. If you put a blood mage here and they get their little Fiend of Darkness. And Fiends of Darkness are good. I like them. Okay, so that's that. You can see we still haven't gotten blood hunting set up here. We have a lot of built-up chaff. I should have been probably a little better at this phase about getting more Mound Kings. If I have this many guys, I probably should have gone ahead and started up another blood hunting province. And a lot of times when you're playing a blood hunting nation, what's going to limit you from getting your next blood hunting place set up? A lot of times, if you have recruit anywhere blood mages, it's not really the blood mages. It's more either, is a province safe to blood hunt? And here there's a lot of safe provinces. And then the quantity of chaff that you have. Of course, they're all resources, right? So, certainly the mage turns are a very scarce and important resource also. But anyway, we've got the chaff part of our blood hunting checklist checked off. I just have to move a Mound King in here, pick it up, and then come down here, and then we'll blood hunt. Unfortunately, I had some more good blood hunting provinces over here, but unfortunately, there were some bad population events, and they got depopulated. So that is sad. This one I might come back, once it gets to 4,000, I probably will come start blood hunting it too. Do we have a battle? Oh, we had a battle with the Titan this turn. So he casts Living Clouds. All right, this is what I remember him casting. Living Clouds. That was why Enlarge was really important. Because at size 4 with shock resistance, she's going to be just fine. And then Blessing, and Blessing will hit. She could get Enlarge and Blessing before they hit her. So now she has 15 shock resistance, which is enough that they can't hurt her. And then the imps that get made, some of them are going to make it back here and distract him. And then we make some skeletons. He's going to wake up and summon more Living Clouds, which don't do jack. And they're going to surround me. But they can't hurt me. The red numbers you see flying up are almost always just the imps getting hit. Occasionally she'll, get really bad RNG or something and take a hit. Anyway, she's just slowly working her way through it. He summons more living clouds. So you can see this is not exactly a trivial assassination. I honestly probably could have done with a bit more shock resistance. Like, probably here I could have done just the lightning sword rather than the Bane Blade. But anyway, this is what I had at the time. Now, if an Earth Elemental gets in, it could be bad news. We got a Bleeding Affliction, which isn't great, but it's gone. Okay, we actually get hit. This didn't happen a lot in my tests. We got hit enough to switch to our other form, but this form does increase our max HP, so now we're going to be regenerating 4 per turn. It could be I have different RNG in this, because this is a different patch than what had happened, and that I actually lose this. Okay. We're going to speed through this real quick. We'll just see what happens. Shockwave, which is going to kind of hurt the Earth Elementals. I don't think this happened a ton of my testing. This kind of went worse than I thought. I'm not sure if I loaded him up with enough air gems. Because he definitely made as many air elementals as he ever wanted to. And if we took a... Oh man, we actually died in this one. Yeah, it was risky. Here he zapped us in the face with the Thunderstrike. But you can see in the real one we actually killed him. The battle report, like always, does not change patch to patch. This comes with the turn, but different patch, different RNG. You can see we could have lost this. Anyway, we actually killed him in the game, and the odds were we were going to kill him. I think it was probably like a 20% chance or something that he killed us. I know you watch that battle and you're like, how can it be? And it just is. It's about a 20% chance that he kills us, and about an 80% chance we win. And from that battle, it does not look like a 20% chance we get killed, but it looks like it's way more. Anyway, that's how it is. So he's dead. We still have I think one more commander to snipe here, so we're going to go ahead and seduce them. We did get afflicted in the fight, though. We got Battle Fright and Weakened, and this Battle Fright's actually going to come back to haunt us later. Here we're moving in a bunch of Sacreds. I think we were starving a little bit, so I think I dropped some of my guys who have to eat. Even though I could have put them in. Anyway, I didn't. And one of the reasons, so we're actually timing this kind of perfectly. The turn we kill the last commander. Okay, no, I think there's 2 commanders left. So the turn we kill the last commander will be the same turn we attack. And these are really low risk commanders to kill, these last ones. It would be dicey a bit if the god were the last one, or the pretender chassis. Because then if I didn't, he could potentially be there and mess with my army. But now that he's out of the way, I'm going to attack with my army on the same turn. There's nobody there to defend for the first time. So there's no risk of Satis taking it and then it being like an awkward diplomatic situation. It'll just be mine. So anyway, we've got that happening. So yeah, that's basically what's going on over here. I think this war has started by now, but I'm not completely sure. I think the Satis war started. They still haven't taken this though, so maybe he's waiting a turn or two to take it, or to start. We'll go ahead and go forward one more turn. Turn 38. This is a nice thing too about me not having recorded any of this and coming back through, because if I did these individually, oh man, I'm missing some of these. Guys, we're going to jump. There's honestly not even that much for me to talk about between here and turn 40. We're going to jump to turn 40. I would go back and get the other turns, but nothing really happens. Look, this is the most boring turn file you've ever seen. Blood economy this turn. We actually haven't been ramping up probably as much as we could have or should have. You can see we're only at... There are some we didn't find any blood slaves in, right here. So we're only at 40, 60, 100, or, we'll call this... we're only at 110, so that's actually not very high. So, yeah, not phenomenal. We really do need to ramp up our blood economy a bit more. We're still finding magic sites, though. Copper Idol, Field of Fireflies. we're probably game leader, I think, for gym income. One thing that has happened, I don't know, it probably happened in the interim, or it may, I'm not exactly sure at the turn it happened. Eternal Pyre goes up by Mekone. And Mekone has this chicken god, the alchemist. I forget the name of the chassis. But it's got alchemist like 100, right? So it gets twice as many gems. I mean, twice as much gold when it alchemizes gems. And what Mekone decided to do for his bless is he stacked a ton of fire on his god, and he got bonus attack bless, so he could do like repel things with his pole marks and stuff. So anyway, he does that, and and I'm thinking like, okay, it's just some weird repel thing for his bless. What I didn't realize is that the alchemist part was one of the main reasons he got the chassis. And we've run through the math, and having Eternal Pyre up, it's going to give him 20 fire gems a turn. And I think he gets 75 probably fire gems per turn. I mean, 75 gold per fire gem. Once he has the boosters on his god. And is doing like, the... evocation alteration. Transmute fire. This gives 20 gold per gem spent after the initial cost. Increased by 2 for every extra mage level. So I think he's fire 9, but I could be wrong. And then with the booster or something, he could be up to fire 11. So that puts him at like a bonus of 9. And so it'll be 9 times 2, so that's 18. So it's basically 40. It's almost 40 gems per. And then on top of that, the alchemy bonus. Right? And that gets him up to like 80 gems. I mean, 80 gold per, which is a huge amount of money. And then when you do like 80 times the 20, it gets him at 1,600 gold per turn, which is a huge amount of gold per turn. So, and the player playing Mekone is a really good player. I'm playing against him in a couple other games, and he's really good. So, first of all, he's going to try to show us all that Mekone is actually overpowered, which I thought was hilarious. But now I'm actually starting to believe he's got something in there. And this is me again from the future, and so the Mekone patch has already hit. It hasn't hit at this point in the game, but the Mekone patch has hit. So not only did he have a good strategy with the old Mekone, but now he's got in his hands the new Mekone, which is way stronger. So anyway, that's that. Let's take a look at score graphs, because I kind of promised it. We're getting blood economy still going. Score graphs, so provinces, you can see we've been pretty flat. We've just been kind of picking around the edges here for a little bit. Forts, we've also been pretty flat. We got our infrastructure set up, and now we're just producing. Income had kind of gone up, and then it kind of went down a little. I don't remember what this was from. This might be from a seasonal thing. Came back up. I'm not actually sure what this was about. This could have been the growth scales, or no, growth would have been back here. I'm not actually sure what that's about. Gym income has been like, this is the best chart for us. Probably the only thing we're really number one in right now. We're top of the pack for province count. I don't know if we're number 1 or number 2. Mekone might be number 1. For forts, we're probably doing fine. Income, we're not nearly top of the pack. We might be middle of the pack. Gym and when you factor in the gold that Mekone's getting, like Mekone's effective gold is probably like 3 times ours. Gym income, we're pretty good, I think. Research, we're not very good. We're probably lower bottom of the pack, but not horrible. We're not like, I doubt we're the worst, but we're probably hanging out with the worst guys. Dominion, we're fine. Army size, this is the one to really keep your eye on for us, because this is what we're really crutching on to get this exponential growth. And you can see it's starting to inflect upwards. This thing looks like a big peak, but hopefully in a while this looks like a small little thing in our past. This one we were fighting Formoria. So that's that. We're also doing pretty good on thrones. We're got a lot of thrones near us. And we moved in here and we took the Throne of Splendor, which gives us, first of all, a lot of dominion pressure, but secondly, it gives us awe. And that is phenomenal for us. And it's especially phenomenal with how I'm envisioning us playing this out. And part of that is our troops. So we're going to be doing a lot of morale plays. It's, I think, one of the things Lanka's best at. I think in fact, it's Lanka's main strength. is just oppressive morale and fatigue plays. But they're not limited to it, right? They're in many ways. They have so many different threat factors. It's crazy. I can have assassins. I can have the morale and the fatigue plays going on. And what's extra cool about that is when I get awe, if I'm doing a morale play and I'm killing everybody's morale, if I have awe, they no longer can hit me also. So imagine at some point in the not too distant future, when I have Blood 8, I have Evocation 6, which gives me Wailing Winds. Blood 7 gives me Blood Rain. I do Blood Rain, I do Wailing Winds. I have my Mandaha in my army, so I've got Darkness up, of course. And basically, no normal troop will ever hit me. Like, it's almost impossible. They have to have Spirit Sight to even have a chance, or like Dark Vision to even have a chance. And even then, they not only really need Dark Vision, they also really need good morale, like very, very good morale, to even have a shot at hitting me, to get through awe. And the stat penalty they're going to be getting from darkness. So that is where we're headed. And awe is obviously a huge pickup along the way. I would have loved to have gotten it as part of my bless, but what better than getting it for free, right? Satis probably not going to be super happy about this, but we moved in with a pretty strong group that he's probably not going to have too much to say about. And this war hasn't started. So I think my narrative, because this is me kind of coming back after the fact, in no way is the game getting close to being over. So I'm still very much in the middle of it. But I probably mistimed some of the narratives. What I was trying to figure out is, like, on one hand, I basically have to attack Satis or Vanheim at some point. The question is when, and the question is who. And from the chat that was going on, because I started kind of ragging on Mekone, or not ragging on, I was just like, guys, this is a major deal we have with Eternal Pyre going up. Mekone is big. He spans from, like, right here. I think he's like this. Here's Mekone. Right? He spans like this, and then down here, like that. So he's very big. I mean, I'm big too, but we're probably about equal in size. So he's big. He probably has better scales than me. Yeah, big, good scales, and he's got a bonus 1,600 gold per turn, which probably puts him at, I would say, at least twice. I bet you when you factor in the gold per turn, he's at like 4,000 per turn. And on top of that, he's been trying to trade fire gems with people, and he's been giving this little snake oil sales pitch where he's like, I'll give you 40 gems, or 35 gems per fire gem, or 35 gold per fire gem, which normally, like, if you're going to trade gold for gems, like, you would consider 20, which is kind of the rate you would get with doing the thing with the transmute fire. And so 35 seems like a decent deal. But if you think about it, let's say you have 50 fire gems and you want to... Mekone, by the way, is not like a small Mekone. He's position 1 or 2, right? And he's like, hey, give me those 50 fire gems, and I'll give you 50 times 35 gold. So I'll give you 1,700 gold, right? And you're like, okay, that's a pretty good deal. 1,700 gold's a lot. I could maybe build a fort or something, Seems like a good deal. Well, if you look at it from Mekone's perspective, he's not going to get... So he's going to have to give up 35 gold per gem he transmutes, but he's probably going to be getting around 80. So for him, it's going to be 80 minus 35 times 50, which is... well, put it on my calculator. It's 45 times 50. Wait 1 second. Yeah, it's 2,200. So you're getting like 1,700 gold. He's getting 2,000 gold. So you're like, okay, that seems sort of fair. Well, you had to give up 50 fire gems for this privilege. He's like a central bank. He just printed 2,000 gold for free. Like, it didn't cost him anything. It just cost him talking to you. He gets it for free. And that's on top. So if he's got any players, and he said there were some players that had made this deal, and I'm shocked. The thing is, that, like, if you wanted to, the main thing fire gems get used for is lanterns, right? So at this point in the game, somebody will make lanterns for you. So, like, ask Atlantis to make lanterns for you. Do anything, but give it to Mekone. Because sure, 35 fire gems might be okay, a little bit better than a lantern, but you're literally giving Mekone, if you give him like 55, you're literally just giving him $2,000 for free. So anyway, seems like a absolutely horrible deal. Now, I did trade him some fire gems at the beginning, but that was before I figured this out, and it wasn't that many. It was like 20. And it was very early in the game, so he probably didn't even have Transmute Fire, but he might have been using it to save up to cast Eternal Pyre with that. Anyway, sins of the past. But yeah, so anyway, I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm thinking, like, who am I going to attack? The problem is if Satis attacks Vanheim, I'm going to have to basically fight Satis. Vanheim, I'm not sure who they want to go after. I think they're thinking about going after Mekone, which, if they attack Mekone, then that means I would probably either backstab them or attack Satis. And I don't love backstabbing people, so I'd be more inclined in that scenario to attack Satis. Now, if Satis attacks Mekone and Vanheim attacks Mekone, then I probably have to figure out who I backstab. And I probably would backstab Vanheim, because I think it's a better matchup for me. I have shock resistance in my Bless. My Sacreds would murder his. I'm going to be pretty immune to air elementals. I would basically Raffle Stomp him, I think. So in that case, I would probably attack Vanheim too. But if Satis attacks Mekone, and Vanheim attacks like Helheim or something else, I would probably also attack Vanheim. Because, well, especially if Satis is effectively grinding down the number 2 position, I don't want to interfere with that. That's like the opposite of the situation where I would ever want to backstab somebody. And honestly, by the time he dealt a killing blow to Mekone, I don't even think he would get a ton of the Mekone land. He would get like Mekone, and then maybe like that would probably be it. And then he would be a big player. But I would be a big player too, because I would have Vanheim. I'd still be in a better position, I think. I don't even know who I'd go after then. I'd probably try to go over here and keep eating this way. But I may, because it would be like Clash of the Titans then if I come up and fight Satis. So anyway, there's lots of different ways it could play out. But with Satis going into Vanheim, that I think pretty clearly sets my course for having to declare war on him at some point. Basically, once I get Enchantment 7, which you can see we're pretty close to. We're about 3 or 4 turns away. And because I have a nap through with him, it means I can start ending my nap with him reasonably soon. I'm really surprised why I don't see Satis troops and Vanheim yet. But I think that will be for the next episode. So thanks everyone for watching, and tune in then. See ya.